We are at a $19 trillion debt right now. A lot of that has happened on President Obama's watch. How bad is it today? I mean, when you look at the American economy, where we are, where we're potentially headed, how nervous are you as somebody who's followed this for a very long time?
The national debt is worrisome in the sense that it keeps going up. It's one thing to rack up a huge debt when you're fighting a world war. After World War II, our national debt proportionately was far larger than it is today. But over the next 25 years after the war, through semi-prudence in Washington, the debt went from about 120-25% of GDP down to about 34%, 37%. So the key is to get people in who will stop the growth of government, get put in the flat tax and other reforms, and then clean the budget out. There's just so much there that you can cut, and no one would notice it.
Well, you have a new book out. It's called Reviving America, and you have a lot of good recommendations in here. You talk about we got to start with repealing Obamacare. We ought to go back to a modern gold standard. And you talk about the flat tax. Let me ask you, there's a number of folks running for president who have various variations of a flat tax. What should voters be looking for when they're evaluating these plans? What makes something a real flat tax?
Simplicity, single rate, no deductions. You can have exemptions for adults and for children. And you should also throw in, none of them have done it yet, the candidates I've seen so far, a choice. So it's a variation of what Hong Kong does. You can stay with the old system or go with the new system. That way people don't get hung up. Am I going to lose this? Am I going to lose that? So simplicity, minimal deductions in terms of keeping stuff from the old code. And so less is more.
The flat tax is an idea that it seems like many people can grab hold of. Why do you think it's been so hard to get this kind of reform to happen?
The reason a reform like the flat tax is so difficult, it takes power away from Washington. Complexity is power. You have to go to a Congress person to get either protect yourself from a change in the code or try to get an advantage for a change in the code. So it just is like weeds. It just grows and grows and grows. And so that's why you got to throw the whole thing out. 10 million plus words is incomprehensible. And a free people shouldn't tolerate it, shouldn't put up with it.
We hear all the time about Washington cronyism, the bureaucracy here. Would putting in a flat tax solve that problem, or at least go a long way in doing it?
The flat tax would go a long ways in getting rid of cronyism, precisely because about half the lobbying in this town revolves around the tax code. So you remove that single simple rate, do it on a few keystrokes on your computer or with a single sheet of paper, and that's it. What do you need a lobbyist for? So they'll find other lines of work. Maybe they become Uber drivers or something like that. And we would all be better off for it.